y'all both was looking for somebody perfect, in that case, the only person y'all can marry is yourself. Because you're the only perfect person for you. Ain't nobody more perfect for you than you. So if you need a perfect mate, you need to marry yourself. But if you're willing to allow a person to make mistakes so y'all can grow together, that's a whole nother animal. Because it make the fruit of the relationship sweet and juicy, right? That's the kind of relationship that make men conquer kingdoms for the love of his woman.
Yes, that's what I need. Yes, sir, ski.
And you're not ready for a polygamous relationship if you can't handle a monogamous relationship.
Nah, I'm already knowing it. For the
There's
track.
so many people that think that's the answer, though. It's not the answer,
I would try
right?
it just
Because
to do it,
cause
but
if,
I know, I
yeah,
know.
if you can't go all in with one person, you won't be able to run a household with multiple personalities.
Facts.
But if you can solve problems together with one, and y'all can fix stuff and love on the babies together, and y'all don't have no issues in that regard, y'all can bring another person in that feel the same way y'all did, but it got to be about the children. It can't be about the grown folks.
Mm-hmm.
It got to be about everybody coming in for the welfare, best interest of the offspring. That's
Facts.
what the relationship is supposed to be about. But the people make it about the adults. You already had your day in the sun, your big hurrah. You turned out to be shit. You nothing.
Oh my god.
So ain't no sense of letting all of that life you wasted go to waste when you can be of service to the children.
Pour it into
You
them.
be of service to the children and you pour into them to become everything you failed at. That's breaking generational
Yeah.
curses like a mofo.
Yes. Yes. Real talk. I love it.
Yep. I'm gonna let you drop down and I'm gonna take up another caller.
That's a
I don't
bet,
know how
man. I
many folks take
appreciate you,
another
man.
show.
I appreciate everybody. Everybody. I love y'all. I love everybody.
For sure. Hope you learned something today, nephew.
You know I did all the time listening to you.
Uh, all right. The next person coming up. I see the sister in here. Airberry 94. Airberry 94. You next to him to become chief with the chief.
Hey, Uncle Rod.
Hey, sweetie. Is your camera on? 'Cause I can't see you.
You can't see me?
Mm-mm. If y'all can see her, throw me a fist in the comments. I can't see you.
I was gonna say I can see you, Uncle Rod.
Okay. Well, let's go, sweetie. How can I help you today?
I really didn't have like nothing, like no questions really today. I just was rolling up, so I wanted to join, and then I sent a request. But how you been, Uncle Rod?
I've been good. I've been good. Taking it easy.
You said what?
Just taking it easy. Waiting on this shit show to blow.
Oh, speaking of the show, why they keep saying why they keep saying that Donald Trump had died or that he been missing? I kind of joined late, so I don't know if you already talked about that or if somebody asked already.
Nope, nobody out. So Donald Trump itinerary, they cleared his weekend schedule.
Mm.
I don't know what day he's supposed to resume activities, but they thought that he would be doing some kind of speaking engagement for what's it, Labor Day coming up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so but he didn't do nothing, and they say you know how Trump liked to talk, but
Hmm.
he was taking care of other business, so he cleared his schedule over the weekend, and the whole world act like he had dropped off the face of the earth. And then the vice president Vance said if anything tragic happened to Trump, I'm fully prepared to take the office as the president. But all that shit smoke and mirrors. Because
That's what I
with
was just about to ask.
yeah, if Giuliani was in the car accident, I haven't heard it yet. But 9 out of 10, that was an assassination attempt because Giuliani had been the one feeding Trump information on the legalese part of how to handle the situation, and they really ain't liking that.
Yeah. Damn. Wait, and Uncle Rod too. I sent you a video a couple hours ago, and it was this girl but she was literally talking about that is it the cigar shaped like spaceship or whatever um that's got the black people on there that's supposed to be coming.
The Black Adams, I call them Black Adams.
Yeah, I was about to say the Black Adams. I feel like you kind of talked about this already too, but like, who is those people, and why do like some people be saying like they're like a part of that like group of people and they already are here? Da, 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 like those are my people. They're coming. Like, why do people say that? Like, who are them that's supposed to be coming to Black Adams?
Those are called the Sons of Inky. I did a show on Black Magic where I went into the details of the Sons of Inky descriptions and all that stuff, and how Inky used the cigar shaped craft and different things like that. But they say Trump died on Twitter. I don't know. I gotta check it out. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, I was about to say that's what I've been seeing like on my timeline. People keep saying that he died, but I really didn't believe it.
Well, my question is, which Trump died?
Yeah, cause it's a bunch of them.
I know I've been seeing about four or five of them.
But something that in the video the girl had said, she was like she said they're coming, like the speed that they was traveling was 11,000 miles per hour or something like that. Like, so is there some significance to that? Like, cause I keep hearing people talk about like the speed that it's traveling at.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous amount of speed. So those ships like that have what they call warp speed capacity, where they can move through space at high rate of speed without causing the ship to disintegrate. So they say Trump released a statement in the midst of death rumors, saying he never felt better in his life. This this can't be right because it's dated for tomorrow. Oh, it's today now, but they
Yeah.
posted it yesterday. Oh no, they posted it September 21st, 2025, 7:46 a.m. It's only 12:27 a.m.
Yeah, I was about to say it is. It's tomorrow now, but so Uncle Rod, I guess now I do got a question. We always like talk about like the families reconstituting and stuff, like us getting our businesses together, and I don't know. As time goes on more and more, like I'm kind of just trying to like you had said before, if you don't know what to do, just like sit and be patient. But like in my personal family, and I just feel like in my community and stuff, like I be seeing a lot of people still will like come to me like with their like concerns or like their grievances and stuff, and it's like I don't know. That's why I be feeling like obligated to do something because it's like I feel like I'm one of the only people that's like actually hearing other people and like hearing what they saying, and I genuinely care. But it's like I talked to you about before. I'm like I don't really know what to do.
Okay, so when people come to you and they bring their grievances or concerns to you, The first question you ask yourself is there anything in my power I can do to assist him? If the answer is no, then all you can do is just be a shoulder to cry on and an ear to listen to. But if you know how to help them and you know the solution to the problem, you tell them the solution. But 9 out of 10, they're not gonna do it because they don't really want the solution. Most people just want to cry about the condition. They don't want to do what's required to change the condition because it might require some kind of effort. And when you tell people in this era to apply some effort, it's like you cursing them out.
Yeah, they hate to apply that effort.
You got anything else to before I take up somebody else?
No, not really, Uncle Rod. It was nice talking with you, though.
Okay, you too, sweetie. I'll talk to you later. There's Will. Come on up. You're the next chief with the chief. Where you at? What you hiding from the camera? So, so, huh? Don't send no. Uh, so Instagram just knocked off all of my requests, so they not letting me take nobody else up. If you want to come up, raise your hand in the chat. I'm gonna see if they'll let me let y'all up like that. Lady seemed you brave enough. All it is like having a FaceTime call with somebody. You just get intimidated because you think somebody else listening. Why does sleep paralysis happen? Your body have a chemical when you go to sleep that tells your body to minimize movement to protect you from hurting yourself. And sometimes you wake up faster than the chemical is dissipated in the blood. And until it dissipates, you'll be wide awake, but you won't be able to hardly move. It's a biochemical reaction. Let me see if they let her up. Royal Enrich Queen 13. I sent you a request to see if they let you up. I got whole videos on Haiti um where we was working on closing out the Haitian Revolutionary Country. Now, if you pay attention, they had people that was interfering in Haiti's politics being arrested over here. You got barbecue organizing the gangs that what they call gangs, they the tribes of Haiti to rebel against the government. Okay, so they didn't let her try somebody else. They may not let nobody else up. Dark Angel, see if they let you up, sweetie. Oh, that's a homeboy. Dark Angel 07 Media 212. I sent you a request, see if they let you up. Yeah, so barbecue is one of the sons of Dessalines. He come from that bloodline. I have no clue who King Smarty is, and everybody got a claim to something. And if you want to claim to be the oldest being in the universe, His wisdom should reflect that. Yeah, they not letting nobody else up. Yeah, so I'm gonna go and wrap this one up. I just want to come on, let some people ask some questions and have a little dialogue with the community. Let's see what time it is. 12:30. Yeah, so we're gonna wrap it up here, and um, Bobby Hemming is he want to keep his privacy right now. He's very disgruntled with the so-called conscious community, um, and he real supportive of what he see me doing, but he don't really want me to put too much of his information out because people was causing him all kind of problems, and so he just was tired of it, fed up. So he just was like, I'm done. Yes, Bobby is still alive. Yeah. All right, fam. That's it for Chiefing with the Chief, 1110 Born Again Edition. Banging on wax, 8-1. Out.
Land. Shout out Chief Red Chief, right? From the Alabama, right? A lot of everybody's waking up. So recently the $5 Indians are coming out to attack a lot of people, a lot of our people that's coming aware of who they are, right? And so Big Mama told me tonight when I come on, ask Rod this question, and it's gonna be the bomb all question. And then with Rod from the crackheads on this question, and I got receipts, old receipts that Rod already said on some of the stuff that he gonna say that I'm gonna show while he talking, show some pictures, and then Rod can go in on them pictures to explain more what's going on with the question I'm about to ask. Now, Rod, the first question we got for you is the bomb all to end the $5 Indians for once and for all. This is the question, Rod. If they are the real people, the Indians they show us on TV, if they are the real people, why they still got to cover up artifacts? Wouldn't those artifacts lead to them being the real people? So why do they got to do Smithsonian Institute, block the Grand Canyon, bulldozer the whole downtown mounds in Ohio, bulldozer whole mounds? I mean, you name it. Why do they got to do all this to cover up artifacts if those are real Indians? When it showed up they the real people of this land? Go ahead. Let's go ahead from that point. Right?
Okay, so if you don't understand that we've been at war for 500 years, nothing that they're doing makes sense. But if you understand we've been at war, Sun Tzu, sometimes this quote is on the cover of the book. And it's a quote from Sun Tzu that said, all warfare is based on deception. If you can't deceive the people by giving them the proof. You have to usurp the proof. You have to control the narrative by controlling the artifacts, controlling the mound sites, controlling what we even think these things are in relation to pyramidal structures or circular Stonehenge structures. It's a whole bunch of us don't know. It's a whole Stonehenge under Lake Michigan, right? It's other things under Lake Michigan too that they think is a weird anomaly. Like there's a drawing on the rock in Lake Michigan of a man shooting an arrow, a bow and arrow, right? So if the Smithsonian is the number one culprit of concealed historical artifacts, we know it was the Smithsonian responsible for telling us that King Tut was found in Kemet over in Northeast Africa. But we also know they the ones who exhumed his tomb in Kentucky.
Right.
Right? So they tell us everything and then they rewrite the script. When they get the facts, they got to explain that stuff away.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Mm-hmm. Now, we know from historical documented record in the written format that they told us that they changed our names of who we were from the Indian, the Indigenous, the original people of the land to Negro, Black, Colored, Mulatto, Mestizo, Quadroon, Octroon. These are some of the names. Right? Because they have to mix the identity of the rightful heirs with foreigners in order to say you have no claim of right to the land. Now, this is how you know if a $5 Indian is with us or if a $5 Indian is against us. One, the ones that's with us is going to tell our story. They're going to acknowledge who we are. They're going to acknowledge the ethnic cleansing on paper that they didn't do by blood, because the more they kill us, the more we reproduce. And that's what the whole teenage pregnancy phenomenon of the 70s, 80s, and 90s was, is our reaction to being annihilated, and we start over proliferating. We baby kids, we don't die, we multiply. The more you stomp on us, you stomp one of us down, 10 of us come up. You can't get rid of us. We hardwired into the land. As long as we're on the land and you try to get rid of us, all you're going to do is make us proliferate more and more and more until we overrun you. Yeah. It don't matter whether you mixed your blood with us or you didn't mix your blood with us. The heart of the original people of the land is going to always come up with a contingency to override the shenanigans. Right. Right? We know what the paintings on the cave walls, on the pyramid walls, the Inca, Mayan, Aztec. We know about the Mississippi pottery. We know about all of the artifacts found in Arkansas and Tennessee and Georgia, all out in Florida, right? They even have life-size statues that they took from over here, compliments of the Smithsonian, to put them on display in Europe. Mm-hmm. Right? They got paintings that they took from over here, from some of the palaces, and then they hung them up over in Europe. Mm-hmm. Right? And then sometimes they even tell the people looking at it that this is an African from America. Mm-hmm. Right? But many of us don't know that before the scramble for Africa, which is following the Berlin Conference, when they divided Africa, it wasn't called Africa. But at the same time, before the Berlin Conference, there was a subsection in South America that was called Africa. Go ahead. But most of us don't know that. And when you tell people that, it sounds utterly preposterous and totally insane until you go pulling up old maps and you see it on the old map. And during the contemporary time, when they pull those maps up, they had Ethiopia or Sudan written across the continent of Africa. Mm-hmm. Right, so it's a zigzag zig, right? It's the crisscross. Mm-hmm. It's the flea flicker, the hat trick, right? And most the average person will only follow it from one point to the second point, never knowing that there's so many other points you can't stop there. Mm-hmm. But they taught us that in school. Take what I told you, accept that, disregard anything else. So now our scholars, most of these educated Negroes, are highly indoctrinated under the false pretense of education. Mm-hmm. Because all they know how to do is go pull up what they learned in school as a reference. But what about all the books that wasn't part of the curriculum that still tell the history from the people that was there? What we call that first-hand information. Go ahead. If you there and you was watching this event unfold and you wrote a story about it, how you saw it, that's eyewitness testimony. right? But we don't go by eyewitness testimony. None of the textbooks have eyewitness testimony in it at all.
Go ahead.
Everybody who writing textbooks in the modern era for the last 75 years have been writing the textbooks based on a narrative
Yeah,
given to
John.
them by the Rockefellers,
Right.
right? We need a form of education that's going to make them not know that they at home and somebody got their foot up on their coffee table disrespectfully. You got people walking around your big mama house, but that don't even belong there.
Right.
But won't nobody say nothing to them because they all think that this is my cousin's auntie's mama grandcousin's house. Right? No. Ain't no other way to say it. We've been here. We gonna be here. They tried to get rid of us and they can't purge us from the land because we one with it. To be one with the land where they taught Mongolians how to be Indians. I bet you can't zoom in on them kids and show some black faces. Who do people look like? Who do people look like? Now, the common misconception about the Indian school is that it was used to indoctrinate the Indian children and assimilate them into the over society of so-called white America. That's the narrative. But it can't be true for one reason. If that was true, you wouldn't have any reservation Indians. So who is they training and what are they training them for? Right? We never seen these people growing up in the workforce. Right? Look at these people. So when we go back to the actual history of what they did versus who we are, right? They might be wearing Western clothes, but you got to remember we didn't wear Western clothes, right? The ones wearing Western clothes, them ain't us. We was wearing denim. They call it the slave fabric. Who made denim? Right? We did. That's why it was called slave fabric. And a lot of the stuff that we used to wear, this doesn't look like what they showing in these books with the contemporary times. The ones who came from Europe dressed like this, but the ones who was already here, we dressed, but we didn't have lapels on our suits. We had collars on our shirts. Most of us don't even notice those little subtleties. That's why I don't like wearing suits, because the lapel is not part of our cultural expression. Though dressing sharp is, loud ass colors and stuff like that is part of our culture. But remember, the ruffled sleeves and the ruffled collars came from England. Right? These kids is being taught the traditions and the dances and the ragtime of the tribes. They the ones they was educating to replace us. Now they have to give them a history, a backstory. Without no backstory, it's just like the Jesus story. When they wrote the Old Testament, because the Jesus story couldn't stand on its own. So they needed a backstory, a justification. So they go back and rewrite it, and then they tell you that it's older than the older one. It's not true. You got no backstory. Islam backstory is Christianity. And Christianity's so-called backstory is supposed to be Judaism. Right? But when you go back to the backstory of Judaism, Judaism is all of the Muslims supposed to be Jews. Because Isaac is the first Jew, and Ishmael, the Ishmaelite, the Muslim, they supposed to have been sons of Abraham. And all so-called Jewish people acknowledge that they kindred with the children of Abraham. So who is the children of Abraham? Right? So you gotta remember, you had the Midianites from his other wife. He had at least 4 wives. He gave birth to the Midianites. He gave birth to the Ishmaelites and the Israelites. Right? That's Isaac. That's Ishmael, and that's Midian. Midian was after Sarah died. He married again. Right? So when they telling us these stories, they thinking we ain't gonna never ask no question like, how are we so divided if we all supposed to be children of Abraham? That don't even make sense based on haplogroup, right? Because they saying that everybody that's the children of Abraham is the chosen ones, but everybody under Abraham's lineage is not classified as the chosen one. That's retarded in and of itself, right? It's the same with these people, right? When they taught them and they tortured them and they raped them because they didn't teach them they wasn't no better than us to the colonizers that look like us that ain't us. So yeah, they slaughtered kids in school, the ones who didn't want to take part in the shenanigans in the charade or ask too many questions. They killed their ass. This is where you get all of these boarding school atrocities of the so-called Native American. Even the children didn't want to go along with the BS. Now you got the offspring fighting against us are all the ones who was willing to go along with the shenanigans. The ones that didn't want to die, the ones who wanted to benefit from the system of welfare, all of these ones is the ones that's coming out now saying we don't know what we talking about. But we have people that look like them $5 Indians that took sides with us. They call themselves the ceremonial whatever tribe took them in. Right? Remember when the lady went to put Atlanta and Cap City on notice? She said this is from the ceremonial Muskogee Creek, the Muskogee Creek, and she named several other tribes. Most people overlook the ceremonial part. That means they was adopted by a real tribe from the land for the purposes of doing our bidding in places where we not allowed. And then you can tell by socioeconomics. If they getting an Indian check and they don't got no casino, that's bribe money. That's hush money. Right? The ones who really in the bed with the enemy, they got a casino. But not all of them with a casino is in bed. Some of them figured it out and was able to use the narrative. But you can tell how they perceive the tribes that was here, how they look at us as the dirty Moors. They thinking that we the same as the interlopers, the dirty Moors, right? But we not the same as them people. We just have the same phenotype, but we don't have the same genotype, right? We went over to Genghis Khan. All they got to do is go see if they descending a Genghis Khan. That'll tell them that they Mongolian. See if their bloodline trace back to Attila Hun. That'll tell them if they a Hun. And that'll let them know that you ain't from over here. Right? But we don't talk about that stuff. Then we're looking at these people, and some of them is hybrids between the tribes of the land and the children of Hoshin. Right? Remember Malachi did the whole lecture on Hoshin bringing the Chinese over here? Those were darker skinned Asians than the ones we seeing today, because the ones we seeing today have an admixture of pale face in them. Remember, all of the tribes gave a drop of blood, and that's why everywhere you go, you have people original to the land with lighter skin, because they've been giving up that drop of blood, and it makes, for a period of time, we're gonna all have a lighter skin complexion than we had in prior lives. Right? But eventually, the dominant gene is going to express itself dominantly. Did that answer you why they wanted to hide the artifacts in? You on mute.
So yeah, so that's what I'm saying. So that you, yeah, I know you was gonna be able to answer. I know you was gonna be able to go in on it for a minute. And a point I want to make too is that what would be the point of hiding the artifacts if those were the original people that and they putting them on a national scale? They the ones we see on TV. They always doing all this stuff. What would be the point of hiding artifacts? Wouldn't them artifacts say that they're the people? Or would the reason of them hiding them be, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You remember the story of the well-dressed lie Farrakhan told us? You remember the story of the well-dressed lie Farrakhan told us? It's our story with the $5 Indian, right? So they say that one day the truth was taking the bath, got undressed to take a bath. And when the truth got in the bath, in comes the lie, the naked lie. And the naked lie put on the truth's clothes, right? Now you got a well-dressed lie that's running from the naked truth.
Yeah, I heard him say that.
That's the story of the trade of the $5 Indian trade. That's how they look. They understood what they was doing. It's not a secret that they understood it, or else there wouldn't be complaints about it in their court record. The Dred Scott case, Dred Scott ain't no African.
Right?
This is why I realize it. This is why he was in court in the first place, because he was like, wait a minute, I ain't no African. And you telling me Africans are supposed to be slaves? This is what the whole Dred Scott case was about. They had reclassified him as black. Vessel lost his seat for salvage rights.
Yeah.
And he was like, that don't got nothing to do with me. And they was like, yeah, you ain't got no business in our court in the first place. Because it don't got nothing to do with you. Why is you even here?
Yeah.
Because what them people was doing ain't got nothing to do with what we was doing until they imposed all of their BS on us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And the Dred Scott case has not been overturned to this day. It's a still active legal document.
Yeah. We got
enforceable document.
Yeah, we got a boy. The work that they did. So yeah, so for all you the $5 Indians that coming out, all like, you know, because you know they're everywhere now, and they, you know, they you know what I found out too, Rod. So many generations have been born and they believe the lie that they've been living the lie. So
they don't know nothing else.
Yeah, they don't know nothing else. So it's like almost like they psychology programmed to believe what they, you know.
The irony is most of the elders, them 80, 90-year-old, they ain't saying shit.
Right.
They ain't saying nothing in protest. But the young brave warrior, Mongolian warrior, he want to shut that shit down because he believes the hype. And what Chuck D tell him?
Don't believe the hype.
Don't believe the hype.
Man, it's a cold piece. It's a cold piece. And also, you know about the Andrew Jackson thing when they made the deal with the Yamasseys for heavy equipment, and then when they came back, they sabotaged their crops, and then when they came back, this is what started the Yamassey Wars later on, right? Doc got a whole tape on this, but they loaned them heavy equipment, and then when they couldn't pay them, they took their women and children and molested them and had children with them. So some of the Native Americans that's claiming too, and they can claim by right because they'll be like a percentage from that mix, right?
That's where the blood crime came from the rape campaign. Yeah. You got to remember, our women and children were spoils of war to the colonizers that came. So to them, they wasn't raping women and children. They were taking their booty.
Go ahead.
They're spoils of war. Yeah. I'm serious. They taking in right. So this is why nothing that they done to us was a criminal act in the system, because the system itself was criminal because they were all invaders. But since they was dividing up the people on the land as spoils of war. They still do it today. They just call them states and cities.
Right. Right.
See, we had territories and provinces.
That's crazy.
In modern English, that's what we would call them. Right? Territories and provinces. In we would give all of our lines of demarcation. It wasn't an overlay, draw a line on the map. You could follow the terrain of the land and know whose territory fit in this area and this area. Right? Now, they have maps. We went over the California map showing you the tribes. And then we showed you how they used that same tribal layout to reconstitute the tribe in the city of Los Angeles using what they call the gang map.
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's just one is on a larger scale than the other.
Mm-hmm.
But we still did the same stuff. And now, like, you got just like you got different groups of people in America, you got different groups of people in Mexico.
Right. Dog.
In Venezuela.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Now, that being said, you can tell the ones who indigenous heritage override their colonial indoctrination.
Right.
When they get over here stateside, the ones whose minds are colonized, they want to act like Caucasians.
Mm-hmm.
But the ones that they call Pharaoh Mexicans, they hang out with us. They got their whole set, and they set got treaties in California. This set might have a treaty with the Bloods, and that set might have a treaty with the Crips, and they fight each other according to tribal rules.
Right.
Right? So that means that if this Mexican came from a Blood affiliate, and this Mexican came from a Crip affiliate, and they bump heads in the street, they gonna run that fade.
Right.
They gonna run that fade just like if a Blood ran up on a Crip on the same note. They gonna run that fade.
Right.
Right. Our problem didn't come in with us running fades, by the way. Our problem came in with the government teaching us to kill each other so they don't have to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Running the fade is how you showed your manhood. It's how you showed your status. The better you was with the hands, that means the more focused you was on the craft. Right? Since Big Tookie is not currently on the scene, the highest ranked knuckle chief is Mike Tyson. So if you want a blessing from a chief on them hands, you got to go spar with Mike Tyson, especially if you're a heavyweight. If you're a middleweight, you got to see Floyd. Even if you don't have an actual fight to get the rub of the land. Right? All these Floyd ain't no African. Them Indians, them Ottawa Indians out of Grand Rapids. And we don't know that though, because we was taught that the Indian looked like the Mongolian and that the ones of us with the nappy hair look like something else. Blow that up so the people can see. And when they were making fun of Mike about that paint, they thought that was African. That's not African. There's no African tribe that wear that. You can find it in the Polynesian islands. You can find it in the old cultures of Mexico and America, but that's not African.
Yep.
That tribal art is not African, but only an African or somebody who from the tribes that wear that art can tell you it's not African. Anybody else, it's all African. Might not know African. Not that Mike got anything against African. People be saying because we tell you we not African, that means we don't like Africans. And nothing could be further from the truth. We have a long-standing, multi-million year relationship with the continent of Africa. Right? What we don't have is a modern interpretation of us being African outside. We was intermarrying with them. They got more oral traditions in West African culture saying they came from over here than they have oral traditions over here saying that we came from Africa. Before Columbus, that wasn't even a matter of fact. Before the 1900s, that wasn't even a conversation if we was African or not.
Right.
It didn't even become a conversation until probably the 70s, the 60s, when we start accepting the influence of foreign people proclaiming to be us. Look, Fred Sanford, Queen Latifah. All this is known. Which one copper color? Come on now, stop playing with me. Man say we know the truth now.
It's game over, man. Look, can't make stuff like this up, man.
This is one of
the land. The bloodline.
Yeah, it's one of the hardest pills to swallow to realize that we've been at home the whole time.